I don't know whether that's possible.
I would prefer you continue with your presentation.
Without knowing that, okay. At any rate, you see down at the bottom, we have a Dan Insall who is familiar with environmental and everything, and has been to the property, and he's confirmed that the property, as far as the house, is worthless. It's uninhabitable. And so we have a situation where on the second sheet, there are no sales or anything. The district acknowledges that. The third sheet on this here refers to this ratio of 52.95 that we have selected from the district's evidence in their packet on this page that I've marked here for easy recognition, because this is not the easiest packet of evidence to read. But we have a medium, you know, of 52.95. So after you set the market value, which we say is 11,480, then you have to apply that ratio to it. Now, going quickly through the packet, come to this page, this packet right here. We are very familiar, we did quite a bit of research with the Harris County Flood Control District. Mr. Gibbons, who is the manager of the condemned property division down that buys the homes out, he is very familiar with that area. The map is marked there so that the front access of the property, which is a primary importance, the front footage to commercial properties, if we're going to say this property is commercial, is in the floodway. And then the blue area you see is the secondary flooding that takes place, and then finally you have the white area, which is that section. Now here, on the back side here, you have actual pictures of the trash and debris that are in the neighborhood. It's like a third world country. It's unreal how fast you clean something up and somebody dumps some more. This is simply a paper indicating that floodplain law condemns property, and we wanted the group to know that we have that situation. I guess the important thing to do would be to take a look at the property. Now, Marshall and Swift are listed as the parties that appraised and valued this property on the document record card. I know Marshall and Swift, and Marshall or Swift, neither one of them were out there. This was done with an airplane flying over the top, and then a truck coming up that took this picture in front. But this portfolio here, I hope, will be very helpful to everyone, because the property is in a detrimental state of condition. It's unsafe to go in the property. There are all sorts of plastic shields and so on that are around the property. Then some of the atmosphere that you see that is in the neighborhood influence. We have properties on the record card that go 25 and 30% negative because of a City of Houston water tank that's within a block of the property. So when you have property like this where it's continually dumped on, and you see we have this kind of a dumping that occurs just on the street. Anybody just goes by and dumps what they want. Now, if you would go to this page here.
Excuse me, what street is this?
Simsbrook, it's called Simsbrook.
This is Simsbrook.
5304 Simsbrook.
See, it runs down Sims 5.
I understand,
so the
I understand the street, sir. I was just asking about this one particular picture.
Yeah, it's on there.
Right.
Now here is the person across the street from the property. How the gentleman got that, I don't know, but what he's done, he has taken actual cross-section where they've cut the concrete and they have stood it up on end.
Road.
Just butted the pieces together to form a fence.
It's unbelievable. It's 15 feet thick.
And we could, you know, we could bring picture after pictures.
And if you keep going down the street, it gets worse. There's like giant chicken coops. There's like, they raise the dirt across from the school 15 feet above grade. The whole, you know, acreage.
Mr. Hance goes out and cleans the property up, or starts to, and then...
I have a dumpster there that's picked up every week. And it, you know, because, you know, nobody respects it. And if you go to where
Thank you very
South Post
much.
at
We'll wait
Burns,
for rebuttal.
Benz. I don't know if y'all had ever go see this, you wouldn't believe your eyes. If you ever went to West Viewpoint where South Post Oak Benz, you know, keep going straight, it goes the Beltway. There's all these junkyards right along the street where when you're going down West Viewpoint, on both sides of the road are just junkyards.
Right.
I mean, and then Orem and all those little streets, everything there is you wouldn't even believe you're in the United States.
I think your photographs are good representation.
Yeah, I think people.
And I was in an airplane crash, so I didn't go there for years, and they literally would break in my fence and go dump stuff. So there's at least $50,000 worth of trash that I've been in the process of trying to
All right.
take it away. And I continuously clean it
You
up.
had an additional comment?
Well, I just wanted to be sure you understood. We brought this model along to show what's out in front of this property.
Yeah, here's the
And
bio.
this exact model is not of the bio itself, because these things are expensive to make. And
But
we
what
own-
happens is the bio in front of it, there was an apartment project. There's three things you should know about in front of it. They were going to build an apartment project in the 50s. And because they were widening the bio, the city got sued and had to buy the property in front of it. At the end of the street was a church. They burned it down. At the end of the other side of the street was a car wash that they had a machine gun fight.
All right.
It's dangerous to even be there. They came in and broke all the windows out of my trucks from the
I
backside.
think we understand. We're trying to stay focused on the land and the.
Well, all this
Here,
is
so
on top of this land. And,
I understand.
and I grew up out there. My dad was a counselor at Madison High School, so I've been there my whole life. And it's scary to be there.
All right. Any questions for the property owner?
Not this time.
I have a quick question. Is this all the evidence in this packet? Is all that you're submitting? Because you have a market value of 11,380, but I don't see much in here that
11,480.
it actually
It says 11,380 here, and you told us
plus the
11,480.
$100
Okay, I see.
for
I'm sorry.
the improvements. And I understand the valuation on the improvements. Do you have any evidence you want to submit on the value of the land to establish that price?
We have just gone over the individual characteristics of our
I
land.
understand that. I just meant like dollar amounts, anything that shows dollar amounts.
But there's no sales in the area.
See, your
There's no sales in there.
documentation, if you look on that top page of the district's evidence,
Shows there's
they
no
read
sales.
here, they say, no recorded sales, and then they come down here, comparable sales not available. So there's none to sell.
The only re-
In the 110 pages they gave us was Greater Houston. It wasn't even in the area.
All right. Let's go ahead and go to the district for their presentation.
This is an aerial view of the property here. It shows, I believe this is the road, what they call it, Simsbrook Drive. This is the property looks like from the aerial. Here is the property from I have the flood control map. Here again, this is the street right here. This dark green right here on the edge of the property is the floodway. This blue right here is the 100-year floodplain, and then the white part up here is out of the 100-year floodplain. So parts of it, very small part in the floodway, parts of it in the 100-year floodplain, and then parts of it are not in the 100-year floodplain. On the
Right.
flood map.
It's all in the
Excuse me. We'll be back to you shortly.
Okay.
Please don't interrupt
What
him.
I'm saying is, that point of order, that map is not in his evidence. It's inadmissible on his part. I beg to differ with you on this.
The appraisal evidence summary sheet shows no sales of comparable type properties. The district has a value on the land of 20 cents a foot. The land size is 113,809 square feet, which is approximately 2.61 acres of land. 20 cents a foot is our value on the land. As far as the confidential vacant land sales transaction, the district does take a look at some sales on Sims Brook. I'm going to scroll down here, and what I see here, sales number 15 and 16 are properties on Sims Brook. Sales number 15 is a June of 2006 sale of 1.76 acres of land for $1.20 a foot on the land. Sale number 16 is a sale back in January 2004, 0.86 acres of land at 75 cents a foot. The other sales are in the area, which are typically higher prices per square foot. 2 sales on Sims Brook, as I see it. 20 cents a foot on the land value is. I'm going to agree with that number.
What 100 block is this?
Excuse me, please don't interrupt while we speak. I'm sorry, Mr. Benson. Go ahead.
The land value looks okay to me. The dollar figure for the 20 cents a foot equates to $22,762. The improvements and the building really truly has no economic value as I see it based upon what I see here. I'm going to put $100 because there is something on the property. So my recommendation to the board is $22,862. $22,862.
Members, any questions for the district?
I have a quick question. Do you show, since part of it is in the floodway and part of it is in the pool, do you show the
Breakout.
stepped, right?
I looked at that. I looked at that on the land, and basically they don't break it out. They just have a set 20 cents unit price for the entire tract of land. So I don't see anything broken out, which sometimes we see.
So you're saying they have taken a 20 cents off the square footage based upon the flood condition?
I think that looking at the overall tract of land scenario is how I interpret what I see here on the screen here.
Any other questions for the district?
Speaking to the side and the residual, and I think this land warrants that type of appraisal. I also think that our estimation, where we adjust, the factor, which they don't do with the district, there's no appraiser override, as you'll notice on this sheet right here, in that category, and that's the basic issue. The gentleman here and I agree on the house, so we're past that. So all we have to think about in connection with the property is the land value. Now the land has 2 very important negatives. The negative talking about the flood conditions, I think warrants this type of adjustment to 10 cents a foot, which we've made. But overriding that is any person that comes in and buys this property has to do what if they're going to use it? They have to come in and spend 30, 40, I don't know how many thousands of dollars to clear the land of the dump, stuff that's been dumped on it. So it's like if you were doing an income appraisal look at this thing and somebody's thinking about buying it, they're going to have to figure that the value is going to be subtracted by the loss. It's just like they build a house, and they come in and scrape it down.
Right.
They've got to have $10,000 or $15,000 allotted to take that house down. And so that is an important factor with this property. And we again say, and I just want to get on the record here, I don't mean to be antagonistic or argumentative, but the district introduced evidence that was not